All right. Well, welcome. It's a small group today, but welcome to the marketing overview. So I'm just here to walk everyone through what the marketing team does here at the Eclipse Foundation and answer any questions as we go. Very informal, so just stop me if I start talking too much marketing jargon for everyone. I can explain it a little differently. But just walking through what we do on our team and how you can engage with us, because that's what we really are looking for the members, the committers, everyone in the community to work with us and help us spread the word about what's going on. So the first thing that I'll do explain is what our mandate is of the marketing on the marketing team. So first and foremost, we're looking to engage with the developer community. We want to get everyone engaged and working on the projects that matter to all of you. We work very hard with our members and our community on co-marketing initiatives. So much like the open source world, we're not working on stuff independently in a silo. We're working with the community, and that's how we produce most of our marketing content. One of the most important things which we try to do is just drive awareness and discoverability about the projects. You guys can be working on one of the greatest projects in the world, but if nobody knows about it, nobody can use it. The first step in building a community around it is to get adopters, people using the technology, which you'll see is bullet number 4. We were trying to get an adoption of Eclipse technologies, and then building the community of contributors, committers, and eventually members around that project to help it grow. And so usually step 1 to introduce people is through the technology, through the projects. We're introducing them there, but then we need to build awareness of who we are as the Eclipse Foundation, as well as what our working groups are, how they function, how people engage with us, because that is how we're funded here at the Eclipse Foundation and how we're able to support all these wonderful projects. And of course, we rely on our membership, so we work a lot on getting new organization in as members at the foundation and retaining those members. So, what does the marketing team do? There's quite a bit we do, and really you'll see that the theme that we get across here is we're about communicating and telling the story, telling what's going on to a larger audience. So that can involve content creation. We have our community newsletter. It goes out to more than 100,000 developers every month. Many of you, I'm sure, are subscribers and receive this. We write blogs, we write original articles for our newsletters that cover technical topics. We create content, case studies, all sorts of content that help engage and tell the stories around the projects that our community is working on. We have a media relations team. So this is both media relations and analyst relations, both in North America and Europe. And they help us speak to the media so that the media can write news articles, write stories, do press releases about what's going on with the big projects. We have a team dedicated to our marketing strategies. So everyone who's been involved with a working group knows that we have program plans. This is what we're trying to achieve. We have some marketing strategies behind those program plans or that align with them to help achieve those goals. So everything that you're trying to communicate on the broader sense, we have a strategy behind that. Digital marketing seems pretty straightforward. Social media, pay-per-click ads, we dabble in everything. Digital is by far our biggest means of communication in the digital age. That's how most of our communication happens. But we also do really well meeting with our community face to face. And that's when we have our events. OCX, as you'll see in Marie Teresa's background. We have OCX happening in a couple weeks. And this is one of our flagship event, but we actually have 20 to 30 events throughout the year, whether they're virtual, face to face, where we get the community together and connect. And finally, surveys and reports. Because we have such a huge developer community, we have a unique opportunity here at the foundation to gather insights on what's happening in the industry through our communities. So you may have seen the Jakarta EEC Developer Survey. We actually just did a recent survey on open source in the Global South. And this is all through just talking to our community, gathering data, and we can produce these amazing reports that are super valuable and provide insights to our community, to our members, and even to press and media. We get a lot of media attention when we put out these reports and share what's happening in the open source world. So now this is about how you guys can get involved. One of the biggest things that we need to do as the marketing team, we're here to help spread the word and share what's happening with our communities. Social media is a staple of that, has been for more than a decade now, is a core communication channel. We break up our social media channels based on our working groups or core topic areas. So as you can see here, we're on Twitter, which is now X. It's still a big platform. As much as we thought that that was maybe going to drop off, it's still very popular. LinkedIn is a growing platform for us. Many people are engaged from a professional side on their LinkedIn accounts. And we're also dabbling in things like Mastodon, trying what the new tools are. So if you have any news to share, an easy way to engage with us is to @ us on any of the social channels. Our social team reviews and engages with people across our channels. One of the biggest challenges the marketing team has is we need to know what we need to tell everyone. So we're always asking the community to submit the news and events that would be relevant to other community members. If you've written a blog about the project you're working on, if you're going to do speaking engagement about your project, we have this function called the newsroom where you can submit news or events, and it goes out on our websites, and we in turn share it on our social channels. So it's a very lightweight. Anyone with Eclipse Foundation account can sign into the newsroom.eclipse.org, submit your news item. It gets moderated by the content team and then shared, and we help amplify and spread the word about what's happening. So that is a key takeaway for today. If you have any news or events you want to share, that's the easiest way to engage with us. We do, of course, have advertising opportunities. We're marketing. We have to let you know that we also have that there as well. Probably not super relevant to this audience right now. Other ways to promote your projects. One of our biggest successes, and is a very lightweight way to get involved, is to host a webinar. We have the virtual Eclipse community meetups, which is kind of across all Eclipse Foundation projects, as well as some communities have their own targeted, for example, Jakarta E meetups, virtual meetups, and other webinars, where you can host a content, present to the community. All you need to do is there's sign-up forms that you'll see linked in this presentation. You sign up, and the events team takes care of all of the logistics. You come with your presentation, they take care of scheduling, managing the platform, promoting the event to get people registered, and recording it. On average, we have usually 30 to 40 attendees live in these webinars, and then we get about 10 times that in visibility for recordings after. So if there's a big project release, some cool feature you're working on that you want to share with the community, webinars are a great way to do that. If you are going to be submitting talks, going to different conferences and talking about your Eclipse projects, please let us know by sending us an email at thenews@eclipse.org. We can help promote that, get more visibility to your talk for these events. We always want people out there talking about what they're working on, who are excited about what they're doing, and we like to promote that further. And then for big project milestones, I'm not sure if anyone here has been involved in the PR process in the past, but if there is a huge milestone for a project coming up, we like to give our PR team a chance to pitch this to the press. So this could be something, I keep going back to Jakarta E, it's on my mind right now, but we have Jakarta E11 we're working on, is one of the next big releases that the community is working on. And so we're working on, hey, E11 is a big announcement. There will be press, there'll be analysts that want to hear about this. And so we have a whole PR team that works on that and shares the news about that. So this deck is a little more targeted to when people first become members, but we do have ways that you can work with our PR team to announce whatever's happening within your membership. If you join a new working group, get engaged in a different way, have some new projects that you're working on, we can help you from a PR side. And more particularly, this group right here is we are always looking for use cases and case studies where we can say, hey, this is our successes through the project, through your membership, whatever it is you have to say. What happens is we have a writing team here at the Eclipse Foundation, so it's fairly lightweight for our community members. We'll reach out, we'll connect. It's usually, half an hour long Zoom call where we do an interview, collect all the information, and then we do all the writing, share it with you to proof, to look through, and you can engage that way. And it's really having these co-branded content pieces is really good for both sides, both parties, for our organization and the member organization. So that is at a high level what the marketing team does. We're really about spreading the word, sharing the stories of what our community is working on. And the big question that our biggest challenge is always knowing what's going on and who we can talk to about it. So that's kind of where I'm going to end this, is just to say, let us know what you're working on. If you have project releases, cool features you want to feature, we also, in our newsletter, we can do some articles there. We do 2 to 3 per month where we feature an article. Again, it's a very lightweight. From your side, we just ask that you reach out to the news@eclipse.org. Let us know, hey, this is something cool. We handle the interview, we handle the writing. You just review it and we can publish it, co-publish some articles. So I went through very fast, especially considering we started a few minutes late. So I will like to now open the floor to questions.
Does anyone have a question about the presentation that Shanna just did? Or any specific questions about marketing service that you might be interested in by the Eclipse Foundation?
I'll start. This is Mike Thompson with the Open Harbor Foundation. Who would we reach out to if we wanted to start a success story or some sort of marketing blitz?
Yep. So our marketing team, we take a shared services approach. So there's about, I think we're almost up to 10 people on the marketing team now. So we use generic email addresses to kick this off. So marketing@eclipse.org is the best option, or news, I think, is the one that I have shared in here. Send us an email and just tell us kind of high level, what's the story you're trying to tell? From there, we'll figure out who on the team is best available to serve and to help with that and come up with a timeline. We do have, as I said, we have about 10 of us on staff, as well as we have some agencies, depending what the project is. Sometimes when we're doing some longer content pieces, we outsource that to the agency we're currently using is called Aragona. So sometimes we connect with them, and their writer will get together with somebody from the community and do the interview. So I can drop the email address in the chat.
Great, thanks.
I have a question, Shanda. What if a project of a cluster of projects are interested in engaging with their community in a survey? Would you be able to provide that service?
Yes, so we do quite a bit of surveys. As I mentioned, our larger surveys come like Jakarta or the Global South survey. Those ones are, larger reports funded by working groups. But if there was ever something smaller that you were looking to do, just project specific, we have various tools to do that. We've actually had success through big tools like SurveyMonkey, but also just little social polls work really well. If you just want like some immediate feedback of what's going on within your community, we can help set something like that up. Again, just reach out with what your objective is. What are you trying to find out? And the marketing team is really good about working with you to say, oh, we could do it this way, or maybe we could do this, and brainstorming some ideas. Or at least I
Anyone
hope we're
else?
very easy. Maria Teresa has come to us recently with, hey, I need to do a survey. And exactly
Yeah.
that. We usually can't find a solution.
I have another question. It's a curiosity from my side. What is the most requested marketing services from our projects community?
I would say the most requested from the project, or the most often we engage with the projects, is on our newsletter articles. I'm not sure it's as often requested coming from the project requesting us. It's often us reaching out to the project leads. So what happens is we kind of just have our ears to the ground, constantly listening, like, oh, we heard in one community call that this next project release is going, we should do an article with them. We go into the PMI, we find out who the project lead is, and we send an email and say, hey, we'd like to do an article in the next month or two. That said, that's one of our biggest challenges, is knowing what's going on in the community, what the next big thing that everyone wants to talk about is. So that's where I'd like to flip it and say, let us know. We have a big release coming out. We have a new feature we're working on that we think would be cool to feature. Please let us know. We will do all the work of helping promote it. We just need to know what the cool. We can't keep track of 400 projects, what their next release is. We need somebody to help us find those gems, what the newsworthy stuff is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Oh, sorry, this was Pete. Just a quick question. So yeah, I'm here representing Eclipse U protocol. So we're looking to sort of time out our alpha release for near the end of November, with some like a kind of preliminary functionality. It might not be like completely bug free or completely like the most optimized code ever, but with sort of like the minimal building blocks for folks to start using U protocol. So is that something where would I follow up with you, or is there a better member of the team to just kind of like send a note to?
Yeah, so sharing it to the marketing at Eclipse email is the best option to get the conversation started, and then we'll assign
Sure.
one person from the team. Because does
Okay.
U protocol fall under STB, I believe? Or right?
Yes, it
Yes.
does.
Yes, so I feel like Deanna from our team has already mentioned this before, that she knew that this was coming up and she was going to figure out what she could write about it.
Okay.
So it's on our radar, but exactly the situation of like, this is something come up. Another thing I should mention that as you're saying this is we don't only write about finished final products. This is what we have. Work in progress. That's kind of the way the open source community works, right? Talking about what we're working on, encouraging other people to get involved in the work. So it can be something cool you're planning to do, or it's in progress, not necessarily, okay, we have our final release, everything's polished and ready to go.
Yeah,
Talk about it
I
as it's a
mean,
work in progress.
yeah, I mean, in particular, you might have heard about it, but there was a large layoff at GM a couple of months ago, and we are looking for contributors. We have a lot of good work that folks have done, and we're looking to see how we can, have a scaled back alpha release at the end of November. But any sort of support in like, hey, there's a lot of good stuff here. We know what we need to do. We sort of just need a lot of like passionate, knowledgeable people to jump in, and we'll teach you what to do, all that good stuff. Does that seem like a reasonable sort of target for the sort of newsletter as well?
Absolutely, because that's basically how we end every article is, and we can talk about the technology, get everyone hooked and interested in it, and then we always end it, and this is how you can get involved in helping. Because that's always a key, is we're trying to build the community around these projects, get more people involved. First, using it, second, contributing it to it. And then third, the sort of strategic. We're kind of always trying to push people a little bit more involved in these projects. But you
Yeah,
have to know
cool.
it exists, and that awareness, like I said at the beginning, is these newsletter. It's about 100,000 people, that developers, that our newsletter goes out to every month. So it's good visibility if you could just say, this is what the project's working on.
Sure, yeah. When do you send it out? Would we be able to make the October newsletter by any chance, or like what? Yeah, I guess I don't know the
Probably
timing
not
of
a
it.
probably not a featured article where we did an interview by October. Those take a
Yeah,
little bit more time, but we always try not to do the very last day of the month, but it always seems to be the last 2 or 3 days of the month. So yeah, it'll be end of October. So if you send an email, we'll at least get something in the news article, a
okay,
short summary that just says, hey, this is what's going on. But
sure,
truly,
yeah,
this is my scenario that I love. Is like, we don't know necessarily what's going on. Tell us when you're going to events, when you have releases coming up, whatever's going on. Keep us in the loop
Yeah,
so we can
yeah,
share it.
that's great. So just to make sure I have the email address correctly, it was marketing at, where was it? Eclipse.org?
Eclipse.org. Yeah. Dropped it
Okay.
in the chat as well.
Oh, okay. Oh, let me take a look. Make sure I still know how to spell. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I still know how to spell. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Shanda, a follow-up question regarding Pete's request. So is it possible also to promote these kind of articles using LinkedIn?
Yep. So essentially, our social team shares everything. So whether you're sending us an email and working with us on a new content piece that we do jointly, or the newsroom is the other feature I mentioned before, newsroom.eclipse.org. I'll get that link in a second. Where you can submit articles that your organization or yourself have written elsewhere. We promote pretty much everything. If it's relevant to our community, we want to spread the word. We share on socials, email, our website. We have news feeds on eclipse.org as well as our working group websites where we can disseminate this information. So we're all about trying to amplify and take a piece of information, spread it on all of our channels. Take what's the next cool thing, put it out there, get people engaged. And LinkedIn is actually one of our most popular platforms right now. It's one of the
great.
growing.
And Pete, for what it's worth, I think that if you provide the context of the huge layoff in GM, which some people might be familiar with, that might actually, help you get some help from the community. People are usually very, I don't know what the word,
that's
but
great.
yeah, they're happy to help.
Yeah, that's great. I'm still working through my separation agreement with GM, and there is a very clear no disparagement clause. So I would just ask that my name specifically be kept out of it, but maybe just more as like, hey, we have this great upcoming thing coming out. That would be like fantastic. But I guess we'll work through more of that, when I send the email. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's again, not to pat ourselves on the back, but that's kind of what the marketing team specializes in. We're not trying to convince people to do other things. It's all about our level of communication. So it's like, how do we communicate what's going on, the challenge with GM, and get the engagement that we're looking for in the right way? And that's where the team is kind of has specialty in saying, well, here's what we can say, here's what we'll kind of not directly say, but get people engaged and say, this is the challenge, this is the problem statement, this is the solution that we need help with. And if you articulate it right, hopefully people get engaged.
Awesome.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Thanks for that. Yep.
I have a last question. It might not be relevant for the people here, but might be relevant for someone listening to this recording later. What kind of services does the marketing team provide to new projects, especially regarding branding the project?
Yeah, so one thing that we offer is we do offer a reimbursement for logo design. So we have a design team on staff, and so we do quite a bit of designing in-house, but we also have used services such as 99 Design or any of these design competitions. I'm actually currently running one right now for helping a project run one right now. And we do have a reimbursement up to, I think it's €500 to create your project logo. So that's definitely something new projects might want to take advantage of if you have something you want to design. Also, if you want to DIY or if you want to engage with our team, we can do that. There is, from the website, web architecture, the web dev team sets up some web properties and then the project teams can manage them going forward. I don't have all the details on exactly what level of support we do on that side, but marketing team often gets pulled in to help with some visuals. And I'm trying to think of what other as a starting project. New project announcements. That's a big part of, hey, Marie-Therese is often working through the project proposals and announcing those. Again, we need to share the news that this is a new project proposal. So we put those out in our newsletters. We put those out on socials. These are the new projects being proposed to try and build up the community around them.
Thanks. Okay, so if do you guys have any more questions? So I think we can all take advantage of these 15 minutes that we still have left. Thank you for joining. I know It's not always convenient the time, but I'm happy that the people here actually took advantage and made their questions for their own projects. Hope this was useful.
Nice meeting all of you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a nice day.